going? Thursday. It's Thirsty Thursday. I try not to say that very often because it's cliched and weird. But here we are, and tonight we're going to be doing the Woodford Reserve Double Oaked. Now, this is one that I tried a long time ago. My first go-to bourbon was Woodford Reserve. I loved Woodford Reserve. It's really the only bourbon I would drink. Somebody introduced me to it. I'm like, and that's what I drank. And so time goes on, and I learn about these other bourbons, and I like them. And then somebody introduced me to the Double Oak, and I'm like, oh, hey Lester, how are you, man? We're doing Double Oak. Woohoo! Somebody introduced me to that, and I was like, I want to try that. And I remember loving it. It's been a long time since I've had it. As a matter of fact, I was going through my stash, and I found out that not only do I have a barrel pick from Flicks up in Lambertville, Michigan, but I also have one from a store down in Alexandria, Kentucky, too. So I didn't realize I had. I'm not going to open them both because that would be silly. I'm curious, but that would be silly, and I'm not going to do it. But I am going to try this one tonight from Flicks. We're going to go ahead and get this thing underway. I did not bring down a Glencairn glass, so we're going to have to use this one. That's fine. That is fine. Teresa's watching. Hey, Teresa, how are you? I'm glad you're here. Hope your 2022 is going better than your 2021 did. I would much rather have preferred to do this in a Glencairn glass, but that's all right. Is there anything green on this? No, good. Because anything green is going to have a tendency to disappear, thanks to the green screen. So it's kind of cool. I like doing it. I'm not always going to do this. I'm going to probably go back upstairs at some point so I can have a little bit of room in the kitchen and whatnot. But so Woodford Reserve. Let me tell you a little bit about Woodford, and we'll get into it a little bit because it's kind of cool how they did it and how they kind of pioneered things. But Woodford Reserve. Well, let's just go to the start. It started as a brand in 1996, a product of the revived LeBreau and Graham Distillery, which is a National Historic Landmark located in central Kentucky. The original distillery closed in 1973 after 193 years in the distillery business. That just makes me sad. 193 years of making wonderful, wonderful juice. And they went out of business. But lo and behold, in the 90s, in 1993, Brown-Forman bought those. Brown-Forman, they're the same folks that own Woodford, Jack Daniels, and Old Forester, and several other brands. Brown-Forman is one of the largest owners of different distilleries on the planet. They're huge. Well, now they own Woodford Reserve. So Woodford, let's see, this started as Woodford Reserve started as a brand in 1996. They bought Brown-Forman bought the distillery in 1993, so it took them a few years. All right. So Woodford Reserve ages its whiskey in stone barrel houses. It allows them to regulate the temperature a little bit better than the wooden rick houses. The colds don't get quite as cold, and the hots don't get quite as hot, but they can kind of moderate that temperature a little bit, and it still gets plenty of ebb and flow. And if you've never been to Woodford County in Kentucky, it's gorgeous. Gorge! Totes gorge! Rolling acres of pasture land for horses and all the fences, and oh my Lord. If you go to Woodford Reserve, the distillery, you're going to go past all that farmland and all those horses, and it's just gorgeous. I could live there. If all I get to do is drive there every day and see all that pasture land and those horses, I could live there. Okay. So the buildings use a process called heat cycling, which involves heating and cooling to the air to closely mature the maturation. Big words. I'm saying it now before I drink anything. All right. On average, Woodford is aged 6 to 7 years before it's blended and bottled, although there's no definitive age statement on the bottle. Most of the estimates are saying about 6 years. Okay. 90.4 proof, which is 45.2% alcohol by volume. All right. The barrels that Woodford Reserve is aged in were toasted for 22 minutes and then given a number 4 char. That's why you have that nice dark color. And the original Woodford is already a little bit oaky. Some people don't like it because it's so oaky. It reminds them of Scotch. I like Scotch. I like Woodford. Now, this is their double oaked, which means it went into a second barrel for more aging. And that's not an unusual thing, especially not nowadays. But the difference between Woodford Reserve and other barrels that do this. Hey, Austin, how are you, man? Hello, hello, hello. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. We're going to be drinking this together. I know you've got your bottle of it, so we're going to have some fun. Where the double oaked is different than other distilleries is the fact that they use virgin wood barrels just like they were aging it for the very first time, putting in that barrel for the very first time. It has to be newly used, newly charred white oak barrels for the first period of aging. Other places will use used barrels for the second aging, and they may be port barrels or wine barrels, sherry barrels, whatever, or they may just be oak. Woodford Reserve for their double oaked bourbon is the first to actually go back and re-toast and re-char, another number 4 char, a virgin, never before used white oak barrel, and they'll leave this sit in there for almost a year again for that double oaked expression. So this is going to be a little darker even than the normal Woodford Reserve, and definitely more oaky. We'll get to that in just a second. I almost sniffed it. I want to wait. That's really all there is to it. Essentially, it's barreled once, then barreled again. No changes in everything. Comes out the same proof. It's, of course, the same mash bill. They don't do anything else to it. The only added flavor comes from the barrel itself. Sells for about $45, which is $10 more than the actual regular Woodford Reserve that it comes from. So, let's give it a sniff, shall we? It's been sitting out long enough. See, while I do get the oak out of that, the first thing I caught on the nose, and Austin, you're with me, and now your bottle's been open longer than mine, so you may catch some different notes. First thing I got was black cherry. I mean, it shouted out at me, black cherry. Oh, yeah. Of course, it's very oaky, too. You're going to have your regular notes. They are definitely hidden underneath that black cherry for me. Oh, yeah, that's just shouting at me. Maybe some strawberry. Very floral, very, very fruity on the nose for me. I've got some cinnamon, some nutmeg, and some of your baking spices. Once you get past that cherry, that black cherry, goodness gracious. There the oak is really starting to come out. The ethanol, again, it's not really pushing itself towards my olfactories. I'm not really getting a big sense of, there's booze in this. There's booze in my booze. All right. I ought to mock a Glencairn and do this. Nah, that didn't work at all. All I smell is garlic. I made one heck of a great dinner. Chicken. Smoked paprika chicken. We made a paste out of the garlic and the paprika and the salt and the pepper. Made a paste out of it. And then rubbed it on the chicken. Set it in the oven on top of shallots and lemon slices and Brussels sprouts. Oh. Oh. Can I just say? Oh. Yeah. It was that good. All right. Okay. Without any further ado. Oh, Austin's with me. Buckeye Bonus is your bottle. Mine is very dark. Lots of toffee, chocolate, cocoa, even coffee for me. I can get the coffee. I can agree with you on the coffee. It's like drinking my two favorite things, bourbon and coffee. I can agree. I got coffee on the nose. Absolutely. Okay, here we go. All right. Ooh. So this is very mellow, really. You're talking about a significant age, 7 years ish, 6 years in one barrel, straight dump into the new barrel for another year. So it's going to go in and out of that new wood twice. So for me, it's quite smooth. As a matter of fact, I could actually use a little more proof on it. I could actually use a little more burn on it. It's very mild for me. The oak is front and center. I agree completely with Austin. There's definitely a strong coffee note there. I was waiting for the bloom, and I'm not getting a big alcohol bloom. And I expected I would get one because I haven't had a drink since like last week. So, and it's Thursday, so it's been a while. And I really expected this to affect me more. And that bloom was really slow, and it was more like on the back of my tongue. It didn't really do much up front. Let's go for the real tasting now. Chicken's bouncing. Excuse me. That barrel is very present. The black cherry still shouts out at me. I agree with Austin. If he wouldn't have said coffee, I wouldn't have found it. But yeah, there's definitely some coffee in here. The mash bill on this is 72% corn, 18% rye, and 10% malted barley. And I think I'm catching some of the rye in it and maybe some of the barley influence. I'm getting some of that toasted cereal over feel. I don't know what word I'm overview. Yeah. Let's go for one more here. It's a little nutty. I'm getting some hazelnut. Some maybe that's there, but there's also something else, like it could be walnut, which is a little bit different flavor. Definitely nutty. It's smooth and tasty, and like I said, I think I would like to see Woodford Reserve come out with a version of this that has a little higher proof. I'm not a proof nut. I'm not one of these guys that has to have that burn every single time, but I can see where it might just make the flavors just a little bit more complex if it was just a little higher proof. 90.4, it's not low. It's, it's not Whistling Dixie or anything like that, although in Kentucky it might be. I'm going to go back over Austin's. See, I'm not catching the toffee. The toffee for me has got a sweetness to it, and I'm not catching that. It's more earthy than that. So I'm not catching the cocoa I can go with. Chocolate I'm not getting. It's earthy. I'm getting coffee, black cherry, and just some of those. I'm not getting. Sometimes a rye will give me like the sense of butteriness, and I'm not getting that from it. It's got a nice mouthfeel though. It's not thin by any stretch. All right. So that's what I'm getting off of this. Now, one of my friends has told me that with regular Woodford Reserve, I'm doing it a disservice when I don't put it with any water. And I will tell you, it's been a long time since I don't think I've had Woodford Reserve, just the regular stuff, in about a year. That sounds about right. I don't think I've had Woodford Reserve in about a year. And I've had, this is number 79, so I've had 78 or 9 bourbons other than Woodford Reserve since last, well, we'll just say I've had 60 maybe since then, because I started it in 2020. But it's been a long, long time since I've had Woodford Reserve. Oh, I think I left my water upstairs, but it's a good thing I just happen to have a glass of water here. Anyway, I would always tell my friend that you don't put water in Woodford Reserve. Don't. You'll ruin it. Well, over the past year, I've experimented with water in some of my bourbons and ryes, and I have noticed that they do indeed, that's what I'm trying to say, they do indeed change quality at some point. That's probably a bad word. Change expression a little bit. They open up, maybe. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. This is iced water, so I hesitate to do this. I got ice in here. That's too much. Oh well, that'll be all right. That'll be all right. So I have still not ever put the regular Woodford Reserve on water. But we are going to try it with the Double Oaked and see what it does. Michael David. It's funny that he's here. He's the one that told me that he puts Woodford Reserve on water, and I'm the one that told him don't do that. And now I just did that. Oh, I can't believe you're actually watching tonight, dude. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Picked up a bottle of this Flick Pick, a bottle of Buffalo Trace, and a bottle of Ancient. Looking forward to a good weekend. Yeah, you'll like the Ancient. You'll like it more than you're supposed to for the price. That's hilarious that you're watching, Michael. It's good to have you with us, man. That's awesome. Talk about just a perfect night for this. That's awesome. All right. So I put this Woodford Reserve on water. This is the Double Oaked. We'll just see where it goes now. I'll tell you one thing for sure. On the nose, before I even took a sip, on the nose I caught campfire. That oak just went boom. It opened up the oak for sure. Even on the palate, I'm getting a lot more of that nice charred oak flavor. It improved the mouthfeel ever so slightly. Again, I didn't have a problem with the mouthfeel to begin with, but this added just a slight bit of viscosity to it. That's a terrible word for bourbon, but it is what it is. And it actually improved the mouthfeel just so slightly. Flavors, I don't know that I'm detecting anything more necessarily. That black cherry is still yelling at me. The walnut, the hazelnut, the toasted cereal. We'll say this, it knocked the proof down quite a bit. Now that could also be because it was kind of cold water. And it's warming now, but the cold water is going to dull the flavors, just like it would on ice. So I am still going to do the ice thing. Am I? Yeah, no, I don't really need to. I don't think it's going to do anything. I used cold water. I don't think it's going to do anything different if I put it on ice. Some pours do add their expressions over ice. There are some that it just improves. Horse Soldier was one of those. I didn't care for it neat. I cared for it even less with water, but on ice it actually got to be pretty tasty. Duh. Fine. Why not? Oh, that's frozen to the... All right. Why not? Just a little bit. Lester, I hope you're drinking with us. Teresa, hope you're drinking with us. You don't want me to sit out here all by myself, do you? Me and Michael. You know, we can talk about some of the people that aren't here. Got Kevin, who decided he'd rather play volleyball than drink. He's part of like this adult volleyball league, and tonight was a bye night where they don't have a game. Well, one of the other teams in the league, they did play. It wasn't a bye night for them. So they did play, and Kevin was nice enough to volunteer because they needed somebody on their team. And even though he's on a rival team, he went to play for somebody else. Pretty nice, actually. Teresa, you are Wintersmith's endorsement. I can do that. Yeah, so this is a Wintersmith's ice sphere. This is not the mold that it was part of. This is the one for the tiny little spheres, which I don't really use very often. If I partied more, I would. But this is definitely a Wintersmith's ice sphere, and it would be more gorgeous, but it was stuck to other ice cubes in there. So I do like the Wintersmiths. I like being able to do 7 ice spheres all at once. That doesn't suck. They also have one for 2, and they have one for 4. So try that out. So Teresa, what are you drinking? Are you drinking this or something else? That's what the Inquirer wants to know. All right. Michael Jacobs says, let's hope you can make my second bourbon tasting. Tons of fun. I know, I missed the first one. I'm really sorry about that. Things came up and I just couldn't do it. When you do your next one, let me know. And maybe I'll bring a bottle of something, special. I don't know. We'll confab on that. We'll see what you want me to bring, Michael. And I'm glad you had a good time, and I'm glad it was well attended. That's very, very cool. One of these days, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to get in touch with all y'all from this page, and I'm going to say, hey, come, let's make some drinks, let's have some fun, let's get to know each other, face-to-face, no masks, and be all right. It'd be all right. Looking forward to that. Teresa, you are drinking. Ha! Woodford Reserve Double Oaked. Wah! All right. Good for you. Awesome. I love it when you guys doing the same thing that I'm doing. That's exciting. It means we can taste this together. And if you taste something different, like for instance, Austin tasted chocolate and toffee, which I am not getting out of this. I'm not. Regular Woodford, I might. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've had it. This, I am not getting those sweeter notes out of it at all. I'm getting more earthy notes out of it. Now it's on ice. It's nice and cold. Let's find out. Oh, different barrels. Right, Austin, that makes sense. This is a different pick. All right. This one, I know, you pressured me to go on ice. I could feel it. I could feel it even though you didn't say anything. I'm trying it on ice, and I definitely got a different note on the sides of my tongue. It was like a lemon or a citrus note of some sort. Maybe lime. Maybe lime. It's funny, isn't it? I mean, there wasn't a whole lot else that was different, but on ice I caught those notes. Let me do that again. Definitely lime notes. Definitely lime notes. That's pretty cool, actually. Other than that, it's all very much the same. Very nutty, earthy, a little bit of coffee. Definitely black cherry is still standing out to me. That oak is saying, hello, remember me from last time? Uh-huh. It's just a very, very tasty bottle. And I would be curious, I'm not going to do it, but I would be curious to test different bottles against each other. The regular blend, because regular double oaked is a blend. The barrel picks, of course, are not. So I've got 2 of them that are barrel picks, and I've got 1 of them that isn't, that are all double oaked. Then I've got the regular Woodford Reserve, that of course is a blend and not a single barrel. So I would be curious. I'm just not going to do it tonight because now it's drink time. Yes, I know we've been drinking, but now I'm going to do something else. I might even use that again. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. So I have a recipe here for a Double Oaked Rye Sazerac. This is on the Woodford Reserve Double Oaked website. You know, when you go to Woodford Reserve and you can click on the different products, Double Oaked is there. And this is the drink that came up when I clicked on that. Get my accoutrement. All this, and I forgot to bring a stupid Glencairn glass down. Aren't I pathetic? All right, this is really, really simple. I did happen to get a new ice bucket to use in the basement because I didn't want to bring George downstairs and risk George and hurting George. So we're going to use this one, and we're going to put in a few cubes of ice. This is nothing special. It's filtered, but it's not anything special other than that. That'll work. By the way, I don't care for this ice bucket. It's an Oxy or OXO or something. I don't love it. I wanted something double-walled like a Yeti or something like that, so my ice would stay ice and not melt like for a really long time. That ain't it. It is a double-wall cooler, or ice bucket, but it just isn't what I wanted it to be. All right. So, I need a 1 ounce. That's 1.5. And that's 1. All right. So, now we're going to start by taking this absinthe. There's absinthe in this. And I'm just going to go spritz, spritz. Whew. That's right. You saw that. Okay. I don't want to do too much. A lot of times what you can do is put the absinthe in and wash it around and then dump it out. I don't have a sink down here, so I have to do it this way. It's a aerator, and it aerates the absinthe going into the glass, and it spreads it out quite nicely, as a matter of fact. And it doesn't pool at the bottom. It's really good. All right. So now this is the 1 ounce, so we're going to take an ounce of the Woodford Reserve Double Oaked. Are you as happy as I am to be drinking? All right, now here's the secret of this. It calls for a rye, and I was really worried about what rye I was going to use because I wanted to find one that was a similar proof or just the right one for the right job, and you know, it just so happens that I happen to have the Woodford Reserve Rye. Ha ha! I've never tried this. I've never opened this bottle before. I'm going to have to try this before I actually try the mixed drink. Okay, so an ounce of that. Can't believe I've never tried this Woodford Reserve Rye. What am I sitting on my bourbons for? Come on, drink them, Casey. And then I'm cheating tonight. I'm not doing it the hard way. Doing it the easy way by, oh my gosh. Got it. By using the bottled simple syrup. And that's okay, isn't it? I think that's a ½ ounce there. Not that I can see it. ½ ounce. So I want to use actually only half of that. So 1/4 ounce of simple syrup. That's a little bit more than that. That's all right. Ain't gonna hurt nothing. Well, do that. And then 2 dashes of aromatic bitters. Oh, geez, everything. I got to stop shutting everything so tight. 1, 2. All right. So this is a double oaked and rye Sazerac. Give this a good stir for about 30 seconds. Get the glass nice and cold. Okay. Take that, put it in the glass. That has the absinthe in it. And then, oh yeah, cannot forget the expressed lemon. Beautiful. All right, you know what? Let's just go around the rim. There. Cheers. I was going to try the rye first. I will go back to the rye. Golly, that's tasty. Say what you will about anything that I do, I make a good Sazerac. This is the second Sazerac that I made. Well, on a show. It's probably like the third or fourth one that I made. Because the last show I made Sazeracs, I made several of them because they were so good. And those I used actual cubed sugar. And I muddled it. But this is very good. All right. Now, just because I'm curious, I'll take that ice ball and toss it in my Sazerac. It won't hurt anything. All right. Okay. I do want to try my rye. Oh, the cap's already off of it. Now, this glass is cold, so it's going to affect the flavors just a little bit. Put that there. This is my first try ever of my Woodford Rye. Now, this isn't a single barrel. This isn't double oak. This is just the Woodford Rye. I like it. Has all the rye notes that you would normally want. I don't think there's anything necessarily that stands out different about it. Buttery. It's got those rye notes, the grassiness, the toasted cereal, some cinnamon, a little oaky. That could be an influence of the double oak that I had, though. It's really good. Bill is watching. Bill Zachrich. Hey! Zachrich. Rich. I think that's right. I know some other people. One of them, it's Zachrich. Another one is Zachrich. But I think most of them that I know are Zachrich. Anyway, Bill, thank you for joining us. We're doing the Double Oaked Woodford Reserve. This is a special barrel pick from Flicks up in Lambertville, Michigan. And we also just tried the rye because I put them together in a Double Oaked Bourbon and Rye Sazerac. And this is good. Michaels, thank you for joining us. Great event. Be doing it again. Good. Glad to hear that, Michael. I look forward to your next event. And I look forward to what we're doing next week. So, I'm looking over here at my stash, and I'm thinking of one that I'm seeing a lot, but I haven't tried yet. And I picked it up just recently, and I think I'm going to do this next week. I think I'm going to do the Nulu. This is just a straight bourbon whiskey. This is a little hotter than the Woodford. This one is 120.4 proof. This is a single barrel. It's a 5-year. But see if you can find the Nulu. Looks like they dip it in wax a little bit like a Maker's Mark thing. I will have more information on the Nulu next week when we do it. I don't know really a whole lot about it. I know that this is a barrel pick from another place in Lambertville called the Liquor Cabinet. They do a lot of barrel picks, just like Flicks does, which I love. I love that these places do this, that they invest the time to put out something special for their customers. I think that's fantastic. I love it. But this is a Liquor Cabinet special pick. I've gone in there a few times, and every time I'm in there, this is sitting there, and they just keep getting it and getting it and getting it. And they keep saying, you ought to get that, you ought to get that. And it's not the cheapest of bottles. I want to say this is $80, $85, $89, something like that. But we're gonna be trying this one next week. The Nulu Straight Bourbon Whiskey. This is a single barrel picked from the Liquor Cabinet in Lambertville. In the meantime, I am going to go back, and I'm going to finish the rest of my Sazerac, and I might even have another. I don't know. I've been substituting at night. I've been substituting my my bourbon drinking for, believe it or not, sleepy time tea. I've always been an insomniac. forever I've been an insomniac. And I'm trying to get healthier, and I think one of the things that you do when you get healthier is you try to get more sleep. So, sleepy time tea. And that's been taking the place of the nightly bourbon, which is healthier but sad at the same time. I mean, I could be having Sazeracs every single night. This is really good. Really, really good. All right, guys. So, Nulu next week. I hope to see you here. Same bat time, same bat channel. We'll do this again next week. Invite your friends. Of course, you'll find us. I'm kind of really getting lackadaisical on the Instagram and the blog. I just haven't been doing much with those. I do more here. As a matter of fact, the Woodford Reserve picture that I put on there today, it's not even one that I took. I will take one, and I will replace it with the one that I take, but I've been busy. I've been working my tail off, and I just haven't been able to get to it. And this is a nice respite from the work, is to do this in my studio with work gear. Anyway, so I will get back to taking some photos. I'll take a really neat photo of Nulu. I'll do some research on that and find out what it's all about and see if something inspires my artist inside me. But in the meantime, check us out, Instagram, beautifulbourbon.com. Trying to get these things up on YouTube as well, and of course right here on Facebook. Tell friends about us, and tell friends about us. and family, if you're still talking to them after the holidays. I know. This helps. All right, guys, you have yourselves a fantastic rest of your Thursday, and we will see you again next week. Take care.